It's a whole lot of us, that's my family. Wanna go higher, turn up the tempo, increase the BPM, okay. Increase the BPM. Increase the BPM. Increase the BPM. Increase the BPM.
What's up, guys? Chris Morgan, FCA at the University of Louisville. Welcome to our weekly podcast, In the Huddle, where we take current, former athletes, either, and ask them to come into this huddle, this space, and to share their story, share a little bit about life, talk about what God has done, what He's doing, and what He will continue to do. Man, I'm thankful to have one of my guys on the show right now, Jadon Thompson, football player. Welcome to our huddle, Jadon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Well, you grew up in Chicago,
Yes,
Illinois. Not that far. What was it?
4.5. Like
4.5, 5 hours.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what it was like growing up in Chicago. Tell me about your family, your upbringing. Tell me about who Jadon is.
Yes, sir. So I was born in Harvey, Illinois, at Ingalls Hospital in Harvey, Illinois. My mom, we started off in like Markham, Harvey area, and then that lasted probably till like 8th grade. I spent a lot of time in Harvey playing football at the age of 5. Then my grandmother passed away when I was 5, so we sold the house that she lived in. Then we kind of bounced around a lot, different cities, different south suburbs, things like that. And then currently I live in Bolingbrook, Illinois right now. It's about an hour outside of Chicago.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, you said you bounced around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you would get really close to your mom.
Yes,
like
sir.
if you're bouncing from a place and then you stay for a little bit and then you go another place, you and your mom are really close. I know your mom, and I know the closeness that you have.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about, obviously you love your mom because she's your mom, but like tell me about your mom. Tell me, brag on her, show her, give her some flowers for me.
Yes, sir. I know it sounds cliche, but like my mom is honestly my superhero. She's the reason I'm still going to this day. She instilled a lot of things in me since I was young. And I can go into detail about that, like just about life, about myself, about the world, about people, about God. So yeah, she's my superhero. We still talk every day, all day. She call, we talk for 2 hours a day. So I honestly think she's my superhero. She my why. She's my why right now.
Yeah. Well, me being a parent, you never get tired of your kids calling you,
Yes,
reaching back out to you. So
Yes, sir.
well, way to go, man.
Yes, sir.
Keep doing that for
Yes,
your
sir.
mom. So obviously sports, you said sports was it just football or did you play a lot of different sports?
No.
Talk to us about that.
I played basketball, soccer, volleyball.
Soccer?
I ran track. Yes, sir. I played soccer for about 2-3 years. It was pretty fun. I was terrible. I only could play goalie at first. So soccer's pretty fun, though. I like soccer. My second favorite, I would say, would have to be volleyball, though.
Volleyball.
I like volleyball a lot.
I didn't know
growing
that.
up. Yes, sir. I played 5th through 8th grade, maybe.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So were you, obviously you play wide receiver now for our football team, but were you always a wide receiver or
No,
what was the position?
I started out as a quarterback when I was about 5-6 years old. Played that for about 2-3 years. Then I was tired of handing the ball off. I wanted the ball, so I wanted to play running back. So I started playing running back. But I always played safety. Ever since my first year, I always played safety. I think that was one of my first positions I fell in love with before receiver. Then maybe about 6th, 7th grade, switched to receiver, and then started loving that. And I just ran with receiver. Yes, sir.
Okay. So when did you kind of like realize like football was going to be your go-to, that you had been given a set of skills? I know you worked hard, but you were given a gift from God, man, to kind of steward this gift. When did you realize, okay, this is going in my favor? I have a future in this.
I would say around like 6th grade.
Okay.
That's kind of when I realized, okay, like football is that for me. My team, we ended up making it to, we played Pop Warner. So we like traveled. We went to Disney World in like December, maybe for like 2 weeks, like playing 3 games. And we ended up losing in the national championship. And then like, as I was out there, I had family members back home send me a video of like me on the news, Channel 7 News, scoring a touchdown. And that's when I was like, okay. Like,
And what grade was this?
I was like 6th grade.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And
Sixth,
seeing
seventh
yourself
grade.
on the news in
Yes,
sixth
sir.
grade is that's a big deal.
Yes, sir. It's pretty cool.
That is awesome. Okay, so you high school, did you go back to quarterback? Did you receiver? So when you was in high school, strictly receiver.
Strictly receiver. I played we had packages where I go to safety and corner. If we played in a team that passed a lot, but always been receiver.
I've seen guys that are so gifted at the game, and then when you talk to them about it, they're good at it, but they really don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you love the game?
I love the game.
So tell me, what is it that makes you like the game so much?
I feel like the connections around the game, the support around the game, the support around the locker room, and that's one thing I realized when I was young as well. I could have a terrible day, not speak, not talk to anybody, and I go to football and just open up, laugh, have fun, compete. So that's always been my freedom, my free space, going to football and just interacting with my friends, my teammates, and coaches.
Yeah, when you say teammates, that resonates even with me, just because I'll be 51 soon.
Mm-hmm.
And if people would ask me, do I miss playing, I would probably say no. I probably would think that I could have one more play. It'd be a terrible play, but it'd be a play.
Yes.
Do I miss the workouts? I like working out anyway, but I do miss the locker room. I miss the feel of just having, your guys. And sports did that. Sports gave me a built-in friendships.
Yes, sir.
You always had friends, and they were always with you. So you say that you love that,
yes,
and you'll continue to love that even when you get older, when you get my age. So you love the game, you love the people that you're competing with and against.
Mm-hmm.
You got a chance to go to a lot of different places. When you graduate,
yes,
God gave you an incredible platform, very successful in high school. Where's some of the visits that you took? Ultimately, I know you went to Cincinnati, and we'll talk about that here in a minute, but tell me some of the places that you got to see.
Actually, I think one of the first 3 schools I went to was Purdue.
Okay.
And Coach Braun was the head coach.
Oh, he was there?
Yeah, and Brady Braun was there. He's maybe 12 at the time.
So you grew up, you
I
knew
was
Brady
talking,
before Brady was this
Brady.
infamous
Yes,
person
sir.
now.
Yeah, he's the same Brady been recruiting
He
since
was big time then.
Yep, big time, man. And you didn't know he was a kid at the time, over social media, over the phone. So then I get to the visit, and I'm telling me and my friend AJ Henning, he plays for Northwestern now. We took the visit together, and we were talking about Brady the whole car ride. Me and AJ, Brady, because he's texting both of us. Then my mom's like, "Who's Brady?" So we tell him Coach Jeff's son.
Yeah.
We get there, he's 12, and everybody was shocked. But he was he's been the same recruiter, the same hands-on guy.
He knows the game.
Yeah.
He's a people person.
Yeah.
He's not bashful. He's going to approach people, and man, he believes in his dad.
Yes, sir.
He believes in the other coaches. Yeah, he's a go-getter now.
Yes,
he's
sir.
a worker.
He definitely is.
Yeah, he loves Louisville, no doubt. So you saw Purdue. I think it's fascinating that people get a chance to go on their visits to go to a lot of different places.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you eventually came to University of Louisville, but you went to Purdue, obviously Cincinnati. What's some other places?
I was committed to the University of Illinois for about a year and a half, actually, before I flipped to Cincinnati.
Okay.
Lovie Smith was the head coach then.
Okay.
Some other places I've been in Michigan State, Missouri.
So you've been a lot of places.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you get to see everybody's dog and pony shows.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
everybody's selling their program.
Yes, sir.
Everybody's telling you why you should come.
Yes, sir.
You came out of high school, you went to Cincinnati, Coach Luke Fickell.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose Cincinnati?
To me personally, I feel like that was the most real encounters, one of the most real encounters that I've had.
Yeah.
Mike Brown, he was a receiver coach there when I was there. Great dude. He was one of my best friends. I talked to him. I still talk to him to this day. I can go to him with any problems I had outside of football. You know, he taught me how to be a man beforehand, like before I even got to Cincinnati. So that was one of the reasons I kind of chose Cincinnati. And Luke Fickell, he's a great guy, great head coach. Did some amazing things at Cincinnati, especially during my time there. But yeah, I feel like that was the most
So
real.
tell me the guy's name again that was a coach.
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
You know when I love that. I love hearing when a person cares about you on the field, but he talks to you about life off the field.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, and some of the most impactful people that I've ever come in contact with were coaches
Yes, sir.
that I had, and you know especially a good coach will change your game, but a great coach will change your life.
Yes, sir.
And so to have a coach, you know, and a friend, confidant, like Coach Brown, that was awesome. So 3
sir.
years?
3
You were 3
years.
years at
3 years.
Cincinnati, okay. And then you left Cincinnati and you committed to the University of Louisville. Why the University of Louisville?
Brady Brown. Brady Brown.
Back to Brady, okay.
Back to Brady. It was kind of like I always loved Purdue, though. I love Coach Brown and everything he did in high school. At the time, I just felt like I needed something different. And then once Coach Fick left, I decided it was best to hit the portal. One of the first people was Coach Brown and his staff, and they were still at Purdue at the time. Then he came here. I was like, that's even better for me. I've been up here one time in my life, and it was when Lamar was a freshman. I came up here just to watch the game, and I kind of liked it. I liked the city. That was my first times being to a college football game. Yeah. So it's kind of ironic how I ended up here, but especially Coach Brown, shout out to him, shout out to Brady.
You know, I remember when you took your visit here, you know, when you came, and you know, I've been here a long time, so some of the names that you mentioned, and you remember those guys, and even Lamar being a quarterback and NFL MVP. You know, I still remember him as the same guy that came here.
Yes, sir.
But when you were on your visit, you know, and I got a chance to talk about just the role of, there was always a sense of, like you were zeroed in, like you were listening to like what FCA and how you can use your platform to have a relationship with Christ. I mean, tell me, did that start with your mom? Did that start with, where did you have a desire to grow in your faith and make God a priority?
It definitely started with my mom. But you know, sometimes as we get older, especially as young men in this world, we sway a little bit. And I'm gonna speak for myself. I feel like I swayed a lot since my childhood. But a person that impacted my life, two people, were you and Chris Bell. This year, I ended up texting Chris one time, like, you want to go to breakfast or something? He's like, I'm on my way to church, and I ended up going with him. He like, want to come? I'm like, yeah. And that was my first time, like, at church in maybe like 3, 4, 5 years. And it really impacted me that day. I started crying. Like, pastor was like, take a moment of silence just to pray. And I said like 2 words, and I just started crying. And Chris looked at me, he put his arm around me. He like, you good? I'm like, yes, sir. So he was like, go talk to Chris Morgan. And I was like, that was the whole like service. What was going through my head was to come talk to you after. So I immediately texted you right after church. And then we met, the next day? We had our conversation, and both of you guys actually changed my life. Ended up getting baptized. You baptized me, and I appreciate you for that. And made my mom cry, so she was happy. So changed my life for sure.
Well, man, your mom, God, actually did a work in you at the very beginning, you know, and the Bible says to train up a child when they're young, and when they grow old, they won't depart from it.
Yes, sir.
And so the seed that was sown and thrown to you at a young age, your mom cultivated that.
Yes, sir.
And made that a priority. And, you know, you mentioned your grandmother, you know, to watching that. And then you get away from mom, and you get away from some of those staples in your life. And you come to college, and mom's not there, grandma's not there. You know, you got a choice now to go to church, whereas growing up, you probably
I didn't have it.
there was no choice, man.
Like, get up.
This is what we do. And so you're making this thing your own. And
Yes,
so, yeah, it's easy for me to talk about that because I was you. And different church, same message though.
Yes, sir.
That you're sitting in there and you need God speaking to your heart. You don't hear an audible voice, but he's speaking to your heart that you said swayed. I swayed from what are like distractions that can sway us? I mean, there's probably a gazillion of them,
Yes,
but
sir.
just personally, like a college athlete, young athlete like yourself, and it's not just you, but everybody. What's some distractions that can keep you away from focusing on God?
I say partying. When I was a freshman, I partied a lot.
Yeah.
So Sunday morning, I wake up not even thinking about, church or anything. Partying,
Just life in general.
yeah, just life. Life can.
And you don't have anyone to really kind of like challenge you.
Yeah.
And man, when you say your teammate, when you say Chris, going to church and him putting his arm on you, that's what true friendships are.
Yes, sir.
And somebody that cares about you and y'all play the same position.
Yes, sir. We do.
Y'all competing for a spot.
Yes, sir.
And yet y'all are still like, hey man, we can do this life together. Why is it so important for you to have Christian community around you?
I say it's important to have a Christian community around me because, that's my faith, that's my foundation in life. I feel like if you have God in your life, you can't. I feel like ever since I got baptized, I got reconnected. I feel like I'm free. Like I'm free of worry. I'm free of fear. Free of a lot of things that I felt like that was holding me down and pulling me down. And it's crazy because you are in a building, Chris is in a building that we're all, all learning from one another and trying to, better our faith. So I feel like
and you never arrive.
Yes, sir.
It's not like, I gave my life to Christ my senior year in college, and I continually feel like I got like a construction sign still on me.
Yes,
like God's still at work with me.
Yes, sir.
You can't go anywhere in the city of Louisville right now without having some kind of road construction.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's the same way with me. And so getting into, the Bible together with believers, that's, to me, that's encouraging that we feed off of one another. When I see you as being a young athlete that's striving to please God in a broken world, and we are sinners, we're flawed instruments, but to be able to say, hey, God's not done with me, and I need you to pray for me, Chris. And I'll say, Jadon, you need to pray for me in this. So we're all together in that. So we sharpen one another. I remember that day when you came into the office and, just wanting to know for certain, feeling like you had swayed, but like my performance is not good. I'm not performing. And that's a trap that a lot of us get into. Like our relationship with God is not what we do, but it's what he's already done. And you mentioned freedom. Like, why do you feel free now? What do you feel now that you didn't have then?
Just a foundation now. I felt like I lost myself then. I lost everything that I truly believed deep down in my heart. And it affected my head and my performance. Like you said, it affected a lot of things in my life. My relationships with my family, it even affected that. But now I feel free because I know my foundation. I know at the end of the night I can pray, I can repent, and God will forgive me.
Yeah, and man, the Bible talks about in Matthew, it talks about a builder that's building his house on the rock or on the sand. That talks about two different foundations, one with a rock and one with a sand. Both houses got rained on. So having a relationship with Christ doesn't mean that rain doesn't come.
Right.
It just means that God is the umbrella.
Yes, sir.
And, that our house will not fall because it's on a foundation. But now the other house it says it will fall, and it's not just a little crash; it's a big one. So our identity can't be in a sport, and I hope you go on to play many years, many years. I hope you have a great season this year. I hope you play in NFL, all those great things, but with God as the foundation, your life will prosper. May not always be money, may not always be prestige and power, but it will prosper because He is the foundation of it. That's really good stuff. So you gave your life to Christ, rededicated your life, so to speak, with Christ. And I remember asking you to do something. What did I ask you to do when you left? You remember?
To make a group chat?
Group chat, yeah.
Yes,
Send a message to telling them what?
To that I gave my life to Christ.
Yeah.
And
Why did I ask you to do that, you think?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's so much easier to, like, if you have a group of guys. And I said, you pick.
Yeah.
You
and
pick
I
those
picked,
people.
yes, sir. You're right.
And some of them, I didn't even know who they were.
Yes, sir.
But just to be able to put them in a group and you saw the responses were so uplifting. So you get encouraged by the decision that you made, but it's also a sense of accountability.
Yes, sir.
And man, being there at church when you got baptized was a joy to me to be in there with you. Just watch as you, because knowing that someone just surrenders, that word doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not in the athlete's vocabulary. It's just
Yes,
quit.
Sir. Yes, sir.
But you said I'm ready to surrender to Him. That's good. Well, what has your life been like since? You know, you mentioned freedom, but you know, obviously you're an athlete. Tell me what you're doing now. You're getting ready for the season.
Yes, sir.
You know, when we play this, the season may be going on.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what you're looking forward to the most.
As far as football,
Yeah.
just going out there and competing with my teammates, man. Having fun with my brothers. It's my last season, so I wanna go out with a bang, and try to go for that ACC championship. I know we fell short last year, and I didn't feel like I said last year, I didn't feel like myself. I had injuries, had life going on, but this year I'm confident in myself. I'm confident in my team, and I'm trying to be a leader. I'm trying to be a vocal leader, and also lead by example. I think that's a task that me and Chris Bell both took on, especially when the new transfers came in. You know, we all competing for the same spot, but we're helping each other out. And I think that's the best part about our room, especially. So yeah, I'm just ready to go out there, have fun, put on for the city of Louisville.
I'm excited about the upcoming year too, and I know you're going to do some great things. One of the things that you're part of is FCA.
Yes, sir.
On campus. We meet on Monday night. It's open up to all athletes. You know, anybody can come. And so we'll have a couple hundred athletes in there. Like why would an athlete on a Monday night come to FCA? What's the draw?
For one, it's like the one time every athlete gets to come together. And we get to do that because of our faith, and what we believe. So it's honestly fun. I've been a couple times. It's fun to interact with other like swimming, women's basketball, things like that we maybe don't see all the time, and we're all connecting under one circumstance. I feel like if it wasn't for FCA, we maybe wouldn't know somebody from swimming or track and field or something like that.
That's really good. What would you? You know, obviously you're older now. You've been seasoned through college. Circumstances has hit. You know, success and some setbacks. What would you say, knowing what you know now, being older and mature, if you could have a conversation with a 17 or 18-year-old Jadon, what would you say?
I'd probably tell myself to have faith. That would be the one thing I tell myself. Have faith in Jesus Christ and the abilities He's blessed me with, and you know, just tell myself keep going and be strong, be confident in who you are and what you believe, because I definitely allowed other influences to guide me the wrong way. So that's probably the number one thing I tell myself. I feel like a lot of things would have been different for me personally.
Yeah. You know, obviously, you know, you got a lot of ball left. You know, but what if we could just dream a little bit? What would a good dream be like? Like future, like, you know, what is? Let us in your world a little bit.
My big dream, you know, obviously to make it to the NFL. Number one thing I want to do is just take care of my family. You know, they helped raise me as a village. It was not easy, so I want to give back to my family. Then I also want to do something for the kids in Chicago. I spoke with my mom like last year. I want to build a sports complex. Have like basketball, you know, turf for football and soccer. Any other sport, honestly. That's a huge thing I want to do. Because I traveled the world, and this spring I was in Florida training with one of my friends, and it was high school players training with NFL players. And growing up, we didn't have that. We didn't have an indoor facility where we can go to when it rains, or, you know, Chicago is cold. So I would like to give them the same resources the other kids got, like in Florida.
Yeah.
So that's my end goal, is just to give back, man.
You know, man, I've loved what FCA has allowed me to do to, you know, to talk about using the platform of athletics to talk about having a relationship with Christ. I've loved building relationships with people that were believers and not believers. But really to see athletes not as an athlete, you know, like the person behind the helmet or behind the jersey or behind the identity. I've said it before, sports make a great game, but they make a terrible God. That there's more to Jadon than just the game of football. There's more to Lamar Jackson than just football. Teddy, whoever you want to mention, Peyton Siva, there's more to those guys, because eventually the game will be over.
Yes, sir.
So if it weren't football, and I love your response of like, you know, to give back. You know, a lot of times when you talk to people, they like, hey, I want to build these things for myself.
Right. Yeah.
You didn't really say anything about yourself. You talked about your family. You talked about people in Chicago. What if it weren't football? Like, again, like your identity's not in football. I hope the Lord blesses you. I hope you do great things. But if it's not football, He ain't done with you.
Right.
So, like, if it weren't football, what would you want to do if it weren't football?
Me personally, I like clothing. I like fashion. I would probably, like, outside of playing football, I would like to coach, because I feel like coaches they're some of the people who also changed my life, and help raise me to the man I am today. So I honestly want to coach.
Yeah.
Just to, like I said, Coach Brown, Mike Brown, he taught me about life and football.
Yeah.
He helped me in both aspects. So I want to do that.
And you mentioned that fashion too. Now you're a fashionable dude now.
Yes,
so
sir.
You,
I try. I
you
try
got some
to,
good
and I
stuff
want to.
going on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one of my favorite verses is in Philippians. It says, "He who began a good work will see it into completion." And it's been a joy to watch God continue His work in you, but He ain't done.
Yes, sir.
And so, man, I'm super proud of you. I'm encouraged by a young athlete like yourself getting behind a mic and bragging on and giving God glory on that, and continue to do that. I'm thankful for your mom. I'm thankful for the people that God has placed in your life to continue to love on you and encourage you, strengthen you, but also to give you. I know one of the things that your mom said when she saw you get baptized is like, Jaden's always been God's. And so when a mom says, hey, I get to steward this young man, but he's God's property.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, man, I want to thank you. I love you.
Love you
And
too,
I'm excited about what God is going to continue to do in you. Thank you for coming in this huddle,
course,
this
man.
space,
Of course.
sharing your story. Anything else you got going on, man, that you want to talk about?
That's about it, man. That's about it.
Yeah. Tell me what last question.
Mm-hmm.
And if nothing in particular, then just is there anything right now that you're reading or something that you desire to grow in a certain area?
I started a devotional maybe early July. Kind of stopped reading it due to other reasons, but my mom sends me messages every day, Bible verses every day. So I really wake up in the morning and that's the first
Wake
thing.
up, it's there.
Yep.
And so just getting your message, getting
Yes,
your
sir.
word, even if it's just a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That whether you get in here, because this book can be intimidating.
100%.
And so that's the joy that I have with you guys and some other guys is chewing on this together, and it could be 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, but to have a daily routine, so your mom knows what she's doing by sending you something daily.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, buddy. Well, thanks for coming in. Thanks for being part of our huddle today, and man, look forward to seeing what God's going to do in your world.
Of course, appreciate you, man. Thank you.